long time. It's been a long time. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, hey, we are live. Hey, welcome everyone. So, I have a very special guest today, Anthony Fortuna, joining us again. This is his third interview. Fun fact, Anthony, you are my most interviewed success story. So, Anthony has lost 40 pounds in 4 months. That was back actually last year, right? Or like not last year, but like six
Yeah.
months ago, or whatever the case was. So now what we're going to do with Anthony is we're going to talk about his transition into phase two and how this muscle building protocol has been working for him. But before that, I do want everyone to know that in honor of Anthony's mom, who is a thyroid cancer survivor, even in honor of my mom, who, in memory of my mom, rather, who had cancer, we are donating $5 for each comment and $10 for each share, up to $1,000 to the Thyroid Cancer Survivor Association. So there are no limits to the amount of comments or shares that you can leave. So with that being said, Anthony, thank you so much for taking some time out. I know you are a busy man. You're hard to get a hold of. And I appreciate you taking some time out and joining us here today, man.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. But I had no idea I was almost interview client. And yeah, I'm a pretty busy man, with teaching and internships. Oh my God. Yeah, my schedule.
I love it.
To the brim.
So, Anthony, I do want to hear about your last meal before you jumped on this call. But before that, why don't you share with everyone a little bit more about who you are, who may not have heard of your story prior and who may not know of who you are?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. So a little bit about me, right? My name's Anthony Fortuna. I'm currently a fifth year doctoral student in psychology. Fun fact, I'm actually completing my clinical internship at a hospital in New Jersey. It's the last step before I earn my doctoral degree. So very excited about that. I'm also a professor as well at Kane University, which is in New Jersey, and also at John Jay College. So Ursula alluded to me being a very busy man. That's sort of the positions that I'm juggling. In retrospect, my friends from school will tell you, Ursula, I made a huge mistake, but we're making it work. And
Absolutely.
yeah. And for those of you who don't know, I've lost 40 pounds, or I think it might have been over 40 pounds.
It was 47 in total. You went from, so maybe you could tell them like where you were weight wise,
right?
Where you got down to.
Yeah. I think it was about a year ago. I think somewhere around November. That's where I started working. November 2020, I started working with you. And at first, I was 187 pounds. I think it was over the accumulation of COVID, but in all honesty, grad school, I think just put a lot of, weight on me, or even, it might even just stem from undergrad. I think it was an issue that I just really didn't pay attention to. I think I really got complacent. And sort of, I had that switch through motivation. Today's, interview is sort of the donations for, my mom. A lot of it was inspired by my own mom, who, looked at me and said, Anthony, you can do better, always striving for me to do better. And I just feel like a lot of it's indebted to her, just I'm not afraid to admit this, but my mom has helped me with like the lunches and the dinners. She has been a very much part of my own journey, my weight loss journey. So I went from 187 pounds all the way down to 147. And then now I'm starting this new phase of the journey to just catch everybody up. I'm in the level 2 of the Fit Body program, right?
I would even say, so Anthony, to catch everyone up. So, I have a weight loss program. Phase 1 is you're cutting down weight. Phase 2 is reversing you back to maintenance calories. Phase 3 is you're like maintaining.
Right.
And on average, it's like a 6-month program, right? So Anthony went through all of that. I feel like, Anthony, we've created a brand new phase just for you. We're in a different dimension with the phase we're in now. No one else is, by the way, you were my first ever member to go into phase 2, by the way.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, no one else was doing strength training. I almost piloted it with you. And it's been very successful with everyone else ever since. So good luck, Charm. But no, you're in a whole different phase. You're not even on the echelon of the Fit Body program. You're on like a completely different dimension. You're building muscle now.
Oh,
Like,
oh, thanks, sir. That means so much. Let's see if the internet can get this. Look at
I
that.
love
A
it.
little bit of that. No, it's developing. No. I'll put it away, everybody. No.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, continue.
yeah. It's been a fun ride. It's been a fun journey, not only sort of losing the weight, but now sort of in this phase of bulking, sort of strength training. And that was just another journey, man. Like, I feel like I got used to the fast hit training sort of, 3 times a week and then evolved to sort of like every day almost. That's another thing that if Ursula, you've been there to sort of like, stop me every once in a while, like take a rest.
Right.
For everyone who's watching now, fun fact, so Ursula told me to take a week off and I still
I knew you were
managed
going
to
to say
lose
this.
weight. Yeah, I still managed to lose weight.
I love it.
Yeah.
You texted me that morning. You said,
Yeah.
Urslan, I lost weight doing nothing.
Nothing.
Why don't you share with everyone how many calories were you eating during your weight loss phase and how many calories are you eating now?
Oh my God, just to give you, so typically I would eat 1,600 calories to 1,800 calories. Now I'm eating 3,600 calories. just to say hello.
And you're still losing weight.
Yeah, no, we're having trouble actually gaining weight, everybody.
So guys, I just like I piloted, I tested the phase 2 with Anthony. I'm almost piloting and testing phase 4, if you will, with Anthony, bulking, building muscle. And I can tell you, I'm not as good at helping people build muscle as I am at burning body fat. Burning body fat, belly fat is definitely my expertise, but we're getting there. We're making progress. We're making some real great progress.
Yeah, we really are. And just Ursula, I can't thank you enough, just for, being sort of that guidance and sort of giving me advice and sort of like your expertise is just, on a different level, especially with like, the forum and also just pushing me to try new things just for everyone, listening in. When I was on the different phase, sort of strength training, I was so nervous to even go to the gym. Sort of like, I remember Ursula just sort of pushing me like, go ahead, do it. Or even like recording my workouts at the gym. I just felt so embarrassed. You remember that, Ursula? Just like, I felt like people were watching me. That was another sort of endeavor in itself.
You know what's coming to mind right now? That story you shared with me recently about how you went to go do a pull-up and the girl was there and you were just at the tail end of your workout. You ended up not doing a pull-up. So you set your phone up to go do a pull-up. Your phone was recording. And then you didn't do the pull-up. I love it. So good. But why don't you share with everyone? Actually, I did want to hear about your meal that you just had just now, like 20 minutes ago. Why don't you just tell us what you had?
What I had. Oh my God, like a mountain of food I had. So everyone, I also practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a purple belt. So after Jiu-Jitsu, I engorged in a cookies and cream milkshake from Shake Shack, French fries from Shake Shack, and then when I got home, I had white rice, chicken breast, gorgonzola from Trader Joe's, and pinto beans. And now this is a really weird.
And he
everybody
still loses weight. What the hell?
I know.
Your metabolism is just so much faster now that you have all that muscle you've packed on these past few months.
Yeah. Oh my God. And like I feel like thank you. That means a lot. And I just feel stronger. I never could imagine sort of the things I'm doing now. Like literally everyone, like I send Ursula videos, like I'm almost hitting a personal record like each time, like consistently, just so very happy with the results.
Love it, man. Yeah. But why don't we come down a little bit on our like maybe let's kind of try to meet everyone else where they're at. Maybe someone watching this, they're really struggling with losing weight. They're just not in a good mental health and like good space in their mind.
Right.
Where were you before the program? Just before everything, like last year, before November, before we got started, really, where were you mentally, emotionally, physically? Why don't we kind of come back down a little bit?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. Just thinking about that. I think, and I don't think it's a bad place at all. Like where I was, I think what happens, and I think probably maybe many people can relate. I think you just get sort of like maybe stuck or sort of even busy sort of within the day-to-day routine. Like it's insane because there's fun. Like I think I didn't even notice like that I gained all this weight, or even I didn't notice it was a problem. Because I would essentially look at myself and say, "Oh my gosh, well, that's not a problem." It didn't click until sort of my mom was telling me about it. So that's one thing. And I think the other thing, I think you mentioned this in your videos, Ursula. I think this attitude or sort of this mindset of like, "Oh, I already know that. Like, I already know how to lose weight. Like, I'll just eat less food. I'll exercise every day." And just prior to working with you, Ursula, I mentioned in the other interviews, I tried running every day. I tried going to jujitsu. I tried lowering my food intake. Just wasn't successful. For everybody I love to eat, I was not successful. So that's where I was at. Sort of like maybe didn't realize it was a problem. I tried other things and it didn't work. I think I really needed sort of someone like you or to sort of guide me along the way. Sort of like, and essentially, I think I took it with the attitude of like investing in myself. That's something that you always tell me, Earthfund, that I that's really profound for me.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and with that transitioning, like where did you find yourself? Maybe tell a little bit about where you found yourself at the end of like phase one with the weight loss, and then maybe get into like what has the strength training provided for you apart from the physical benefits, of course.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 I'm just yes thinking back to that. I think like just even with phase one, I feel like I've gained a lot of like skills and habits in order to be more consistent with my workouts. Like I'll tell everybody, and I think that this is a common sort of barrier. Sort of I was like, I said to myself, I never have enough time to exercise. I'm too busy. And I think this has really taught me to be creative with my time. Like if I have a break, especially nowadays with COVID, where sort of some days I'm working remotely, if I have an hour break, I take a workout. But leading into sort of phase two, I talked to your Ursula about this. I already thought like I achieved my goal. I was like, Ursula, well, we're done, right? There's like no more mountain to climb, so to say. And I remember you, Ursula, sort of encouraging me that there's always another mountain to climb. There's always another goal to strive towards. And I was feeling really scared, actually. I think I was in a place where I didn't want to keep going. Like, I think it felt safe to be complacent, almost similar to even before I, lost all the weight. It was sort of in a similar place. And it didn't take until sort of you pushed me, Ursula, saying, no, you can do better. I remember for everybody watching, I think about, was finished with phase one. I lost about 30 pounds. That was like 155. And I thought to myself, everyone, like, this is where it's at. Like, I can't lose any more weight. My dream goal, as I said to Ursula, was 145. And actually, everybody, I would have to cut weight when I was wrestling in Severian, where we both attended. So essentially, for anyone watching who is saying, okay, what's cutting weight? Essentially, what I have to do, I would have to dehydrate myself to go to 145. But then with our work together, Ursula, so that we did that naturally, okay, very flexibly, eating foods that I love to eat, including my milkshakes and my peanut butter smoothies, as we always talk about.
Those goddamn peanut butter smoothies.
I know, all peanut butter. But yeah, and I think this whole process just sort of allowed me to reach another sort of level, and also just challenge myself to do things that I never thought was possible. Like now I'm at the gym, like still like those gym bros. I always joke with Ursula, just being a gym bro, like squatting like 50 pounds or whatever it is, 75 pounds, and doing things I never thought was possible, or just didn't even realize that I could do.
Right. And like, now like I've posted videos of you doing dips and pull-ups and all this stuff that you had a goal of doing. And what has that provided for you apart from the physical benefits?
Right. Yeah. I think like just a greater confidence in myself. Like, like there were times, like for example, maybe I would be afraid to wear shorts or, tank tops. Now I'm just feeling more confident to wear things like that, just sort of be proud of sort of the body that I'm in, and regardless of, if I lost all the weight, I think it's just being more comfortable with myself, right? And just sort of, having that confidence to put myself out there. Just similar to like, with the fast fit training, learning a skill, and also taking that leap of faith, as you always say, Ursula. So, you know, the things I've learned in this program go way beyond the physical or sort of any sort of skill-based trait that I could get, lifting things up and down.
Right.
Yeah.
Part of it sounds like just betting on yourself, investing in yourself, like really taking care of yourself in a positive way.
Yeah. And also I know today it's for my mom, just how important it is. I learned to have other people to support you in your goals, and to back you up. Like I said, my mom's helped me with the lunches,
Shout out to Mrs. Fortuna.
Yeah, shout out to her. Without her, I wouldn't. I tell my mom, she says, screw that. It's not you. It's not me. It's you. But really, it is indebted to her because I've had people in my corner like your son, like my mom, who backed me up 100% of the way. And people who've told me like, why you go to the gym like 3 times a week? Like, what are you, nuts? But also,
what are you, nuts?
Nuts, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, but just having their, unequivocal support and just, trusting me and also trusting you, Ursula, so like that there's a other side to the mountain, right? So there's another mountain to climb.
Yes, sir. Like I often say, the reward for climbing a mountain is a bigger mountain to climb.
A bigger mountain.
Absolutely. And can you share just a bit about like what, man, I almost lost my train of thought. What it took to kind of get to where you are now? Like maybe could you drop some valuable insights that might help other people on their weight loss journey?
Absolutely. Well, first thing that came to mind when you said it, Ursula, and I think I can like sit here right now, like on the other side of things and say like, yeah, I felt like the best I've ever felt in my life, right? But I think it's those small things that you told me, Ursula, just sort of like doing things consistently. Like I remember, Ursula, way back, just like I remember my first weigh-in, I lost like 0.7 pounds. And I told you, Ursula,
dude,
like,
your first weigh-in, you lost like 3 or 4 pounds. And your text to me was, Urslan, I am so discouraged. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, you just lost so much weight in a week. Are you joking?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. So my advice to everybody is just like, I forget the exact saying you say, Urslan, but just sort of like be patient with the process, right? And sort of like little progress is some progress, something is better than nothing.
Right. Yeah. So that's a great takeaway. Just focus on the positive, focus on the progress. And sometimes that progress isn't always with the scale either.
Right. Maybe,
why don't you share some like non-scale victories you've had? Because like obviously you've had a tremendous amount of like weight loss success, but like maybe share some unexpected benefits that were not weight loss related, non-scale victories, if you will.
Absolutely. And I think with this new phase of the program, sort of those non-scale victories involve sort of maybe like tone in my muscle, doing like, for example, like I could never do a pull-up until this program, like never. Those are kind of the victories that sort of like wow, like beyond the scale victories, like so doing sort of movements that I've never done before. And the other sort of non-scale victories that I've had, and this might seem simple, but even just the fact that, okay, I did all my exercises for the week, right? Or like, okay, I did my exercise for today, because as I'm sure, everyone has a busy life and sort of everyone has other responsibilities. Just completing the workout, just getting something done, or sort of, like you saying, sort of like getting the day started right, or sort of winning the day, those are sort of those small non-scale victories that were really important to me. Just the fact of just enjoying the journey, loving what I do, those are victories within itself, because this is another facet of my life, or just beyond when we're done. This is a facet of my life that I'll continue to do, that I want to continue to do for as long as I'm physically able. The
I love
workouts, jujitsu, so it goes way beyond the scale.
I love that, man. And why don't you share with everyone, because there's always a bit of an intimidation factor going into the gym. You had it as well. What kind of softened that? Because you shared with me, like, we didn't start at the gym. We started at home with the weights.
Right.
So maybe like share with them the transition from like body weight to weights at home to weights at the gym. And like maybe just share a little bit of your journey in that transition.
Yeah. I think a lot of it just, Ursula, I got to thank you. I think just sort of like doing little by little. Like, for example, I didn't start at the gym immediately. We did the home workouts versus I learned important things such as the form. Those are really important to sort of building my confidence into stepping onto the gym and just sort of knowing, okay, I have somewhat of an idea of what I'm doing. Even though when you step in there, you see all these machines, you see these guys, and gals with like, who are ripped and like lifting your body weight. That was very, very helpful. And I think just having your support, Ursula, just taking that leap of faith. Like I'm thinking of like when I was deathly afraid of like recording my workouts, just like having that mindset that no one's watching you. Which in reality, I learned that nobody is. Like that story you shared, Ursula, the father yelling at the daughter, like, you're doing the workouts wrong. And here I am just scared of like recording my little workouts.
Right.
The girl's embarrassed. Taking that leap of faith ultimately, and having that support from people like you. I talk about my mom, my family members, just to keep on pushing.
Absolutely. And just FYI to that father at that Planet Fitness, who the unlikely chance he's watching this for whatever reason, yelling at your daughter at the gym, it's not going to get her to go more. It's probably going to do the opposite. It's probably going to make her run away from the gym.
Yeah. And one thing I'm remembering, we also did a workout where you sort of like walked me through some of the positions. So that gave me more confidence to say, okay, I know what I'm doing, right? And just, keep at it with the workouts. And also like, that was another thing that made the workouts fun. Like at Planet Fitness, I don't know his name, but I have a buddy there. We talk about the Mets, like he's on the front desk. And for anybody who's a Mets fan, they're absolutely horrible or fun. Don't watch them. Every time I go to the gym, I'm excited to talk to my front desk guy because we talk about the Mets and anything sports related. So that made it more fun.
Yeah, you guys are, if you go down the ship, you're going down together kind of thing.
Yeah, we're going down together.
I'm just kidding.
Which is every year. So I think there's no ship anymore. There's just like water.
I love it. Yeah. So good. And maybe you could share what are some valuable insights and knowledge you learned nutritionally that really helped you on your weight loss phase of the journey. Maybe you can share that with some people that might be struggling right now and stuck where you were.
Right. I think like, and Ursula, this is like, I might sound like a broken record. A lot of it is indebted to you. It's like if anybody's doubtful about working with Ursula, please do. I think the results sort of, Ursula, not only with myself, but your other clients just speak for itself. But the things I've learned is I think being more flexible with what you eat. Like Ursula, like there were like days or even on the weekends typically, I would eat meals from like Applebee's, be a little bit looser with my diet, but also right, having that focus and sort of that mindful, sort of intentional and being intentional to what I eat. So essentially being more flexible with what you eat. Two, I think just being creative as well, so eating different foods so you don't get tired of it. And also one thing, and sort of I indebted to my mom as well, sort of planning ahead. Sort of, okay, having an idea of, okay, I'm gonna eat this for breakfast, I'm gonna eat this for lunch, and sort of work from there.
You know what? I love that you said that. One thing I found really fascinating by the way you were approaching like your food logs be like, you would log the day like ahead of the day. I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
like this guy like transporting in the future, like eating all this food and like coming back. Like, so you would like My Fitness Pal lets you log the food for
Right.
the following day. You would literally log the food for the
Yeah.
following day sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh, that's really interesting. So I mean, it's no surprise to me that that sort of planning led to a great amount of the success that you've had as well. And
Mhm.
I'd also love for you to share your gym workouts. Are you at
Right.
the gym like 5-6 days a week for like several hours, or like what's your gym routine like, and like how long are you there? Like how long is your commitment for your gym routine?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. And I'm only at the gym 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and typically the workouts are only an hour or two. I know we had an issue like me like
It
working
should
out
not
for
be 2 hours, Anthony.
yeah, so not
It should be one max.
right, Max, and we got it out of the way.
What the hell was going on? Did we ever figure that out?
Yeah, I think we like shortened the workouts, and also a big part of it was me being distracted. I think I tuned in a live session. I was like,
You did. I was doing
yeah,
my inner game, and I remember
yeah,
you tuned in live. I'm like, what are you doing? You just
yeah.
texted me a workout video that you're working out.
Right, yeah. It was during my rest. But typically now it's only an hour, 3 days a week, and that doesn't sound like a big, it might not sound like a big sort of commitment, but it's also very realistic. And I think nowadays, since I'm very busy, I'm teaching 4 classes, doing a full-time internship, something that I've been saying to myself is being creative and being opportunistic, like pushing yourself. Like, for example, okay, I have an hour and a half free right now. Let's go to the gym. Let's win the day. Let's seize the day. So that's something that I've really learned.
I love that. I love that. And with that, what are some like parting thoughts that you'd like to leave everyone with? Maybe some piece of advice or last thoughts that you think would be helpful for them, like on their own weight loss journey, whether they want to transition from like body weight to weightlifting, or did they really want to learn like macros or whatever the case may be. Like, what
Right.
are some of your final thoughts that you'd like to share with someone who's on that journey?
Yeah.
Maybe a good way to frame it is maybe your prior self, Anthony 1.0.
Right.
What would Anthony 2.0 share as a piece of advice to Anthony 1.0 in terms of
Right.
losing weight and everything?
Right. Right. It'd be like, get your stuff together. No, no. uh, I think it's like being compassionate with yourself, being kind with yourself. But it's okay. I think one part of the problem, um, that we might like sort of like be resistant or sort of hesitant to try new things is sort of we're rough on ourselves. Like, okay, wait, what if I fail? Like, what if I don't do that? I think just being kind to yourself and sort of taking that leap of faith. And also, if you can, I would tell everybody to use the support system that you have around you. Sort of, I know this stream is dedicated to my mom. I've had a lot of support, from her, from you, my brother, my family members, who just really just pushed me forward. Sort of that's what I would say for anybody who might be hesitant or sort of, stuck in their weight loss journey, or even just sort of like stuck on sort of doing something. Just taking that leap of faith and sort of utilizing the social supports that you have. That's what I would say. And just also be kind to yourself, and just keep trying your best little by little. Just, I think with me, sort of like I could barely do the 30 minutes, whatever it was, fast hit training. And then now I'm sort of lifting weights. Like my past self was like, what the heck are you doing? Sort of like trusting the process and sort of like enjoy the process as well. Have fun.
Right. I love that, man. One other thing I want to talk about was like at each phase, there was this fear. There was always this fear of
Right.
like moving forward, a fear of failure, whatever it was. What kind of helped you overcome that fear and not be paralyzed by it, but allow you to move with it?
Yeah, yeah. That is so tough. I think it's like, it's sort of like, I guess when you jump on a roller coaster, or you sort of like you jump off the pool, just like, oh, actually, Irfan, I think about you in this.
Cold shower.
Cold showers. So everyone who doesn't know, Irfan loves to take cold showers.
Oh, yeah.
And actually one day I think we jumped on. I think we did, like, you instructed me how to do it.
So,
Like,
so this is a ritual I do with members
yeah.
who want to do it. I guide you through a cold shower via FaceTime with your camera off. Anthony and I did that together.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was brutal. But I think that's sort of thinking about that experience instilled in me the mindset of just like, okay, just do it. 3, 2, 1. So as Ursula goes to the cold shower, 3, 2, 1, go, and just do it. Just sort of don't think, just do it, right? And I think also, and something I'm trying to do in my own everyday life is to lean towards your fear. I think maybe you told me this, Ursula, sort of like the obstacle is the way. I might have that wrong, but sort of like wherever, if you're feeling scared or anxious, that's a good thing. That's a good feeling. Lean towards that and go towards that. So at every step of the way, right? You're right. I never thought about that response. There's always some fear. Like
Yep.
phase 1, I was afraid to lose weight. This phase now, afraid to lift muscle, lift anything heavy, right? Sort of that's the thing that's been instilled in me.
And you're overhead pressing like a lot of weight, like 100 pounds.
I know, yeah. I'm like,
That's a lot of weight, dude. That's like almost as much as I do. Like,
no,
seriously, it's a lot of weight.
no, I mean, it's a lot. Yeah, just like little by little, just keep going towards your fear, and because I'm still scared. I think just like acknowledging that you're scared and just keep going, accept that you're scared, and use that to lean to go towards your values. Instead of my values in this program, always just sort of push myself and not leave anything to regret on. And also just like you've been supporting me all this way, from my mom has been supporting me, not to, let them down. So that's sort of what I think about. And as a therapist and psychologist in training, I always think about, Ursula, I've told you this multiple occasions, Ursula, I think about my clients. If I'm not able to sort of, push myself or do the things that I'm scared of, how can I tell somebody in front of me to do the things that they're scared of? I'm not perfect in any way, but just sort of, doing those things for the people I love and care about.
I love that. Absolutely. And with that, Anthony, I want to say thank you again. And for everyone watching, again, we are donating for every comment that you leave with no limits to the amount of comments that you leave. $5 per comment, $10 per share, up to $1,000 in honor of Anthony's mother for the Thyroid Cancer Survivor Association, and even in memory of my mom as well. So guys, there are 2 ways you can help if you found this valuable. 1 is you can like or heart this video, and 2 is you can share this with just one other person that you believe would also find it helpful. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Anthony, for tuning in. Yes, let's fucking go. And I hope you guys have the best night of your entire life, and we will see you in our next video.
All right.